Hey everyone, Alan Bauer here in Bay City, Michigan. Have you ever asked yourself why is it that some people are very successful while a lot of other people are not? And I know I've often asked that question myself, and especially with CTFO here. So, how was it that Karen and I were actually able to rise through the ranks here and actually make it to 25K vice president and keep building a business while we see other people that are out there that just kind of stay at that same level and they never seem to get anywhere and then they just kind of disappear? Well, I kind of got a little story I want to share with you, but then I am going to cover the 7 keys to this success. And it really just kind of came to me last night. Last night was the final thing. So a lot of you know, I do insurance sales for Medicare, the Medicare insurance sales. And I had this situation last night where I had somebody on the line and they still wanted to think about it. And I'm thinking, man, this is already the evening. I'm working till 11. They wanted to call me back and it's so busy. I just knew they were going to get lost in the shuffle. So I took the extra effort and I explained everything about where they're at right now and the financial risk they had. There was only 2 plans that were available, and the one, it had some high deductibles, and the other one really seemed to fit. There's never anything perfect, but it put them in a much better position. So I went back and I explained. I said, "Hey, here's what could happen if the worst case scenario happened. You end up with a lot of medical bills. Where you're at right now, maybe you'd have $20,000 out of pocket. On this other plan, maybe you're going to have a couple $1,000s out of pocket." And I went through, we had the doctors covered, we had the prescriptions covered. They could still do everything that they've been doing. They had that freedom and flexibility. So I made sure I took that extra step, and they did go with the plan. So they went with the plan. We got them signed up, and I swear it was not like an hour later, that insurance carrier that I put them with, their server went down. So it was dead. I mean, it would not have happened had I let that person go right then. That would have never happened, and I would have felt really bad because if something happened during that next year, they would have been in that financial stress. And so, I looked from that, and then I actually had some time off, because I've been working these crazy 12, 14-hour days. Now it's back to normal. And I'm back to normal hours, and I had some time to read last night. So I stayed up till like 2 in the morning. I read this book, the Metahuman book by Deepak. And so I started going through the book, and a lot of things just started to click in my brain here. So I came up with these 7 things, or 7, what do you want to call them, tips, steps, that I really believe I'm going to call them the 7 steps to becoming successful, or what really differentiates why people are successful and why they're not. The number one I have here is the belief or the mindset. And I know we hear about this all the time, but really from the time we're a child, like I was reading in Deepak's book, our brain is really kind of programmed from the time we're about 3 to 5 years old. Because of all the experiences we've had and our parents and our surroundings, our environment. And a lot of times, a lot of us have all this junk in our head too, like, well, you can't do that. We can't afford that, or, we're too poor to get that, or, you're not good enough. You're not handsome enough or pretty enough, or, you'll never be that. There's all these limiting beliefs that are programmed into our heads. And it's not like, parents or environment or people really, I don't think they have ill intents. They're trying to protect us more than anything on that. So on the belief system, with CTFO, I really think you need to believe in the product, like our CBDa products. Google CBDa, there's so many things out there about it that are just great. I've been talking about this. I really believe our products are better than anything else out there. We have the top of the line. The price. Sometimes I'll hear people say, well, our products are so expensive. I can find it in the store for $40. Why are ours $120? Why? Because they actually work. That's why. I mean, are you going to go buy this product because it's cheaper and it doesn't give you the results you need? So, I'm a firm believer in this, and it just gets me when people say that, but they don't have that same belief. So you really need to get that education to learn about our products and price. And then finally, the opportunity. A lot of people have negative things in their head. They won't touch a company that's a network marketing company. They think it's a pyramid scheme or whatever. I mean, there's money in this. We're helping people. We get paid for it. Why are we programmed to think the only way to earn something is either, go to a job and work, trade your hours for time? And there are people that are entrepreneurs that have their own businesses where they can hire people to trade hours for time and then they profit off them. Nothing wrong with that. I mean, you have a job, that's great. Nobody's asking you to quit a job or anything, but we have to have a belief. We have to do something different to make money too if we want to change our situation. You keep doing the same thing, it's going to happen over and over. I mean, you're not going to get any different results. So this is an opportunity. You really have to believe in this opportunity also and see it. And how our comp plan and everything is just so much better than these binaries and breakaways and all that. I mean, it's really designed to put money into our pocket. And that's why the owners are on the same pay plan. They don't take this big $1 million salary. They do the business just like we do. So they're on the same comp plan. If they want to raise, or they have to give us a raise too. So it works out great. So that's the first one, is a belief or mindset. Number two is actually take action. Now you can sit around all day and read Napoleon Hill, and you can watch Tony Robbins and Eric Voorhees and all these other big gurus, pump all this positive sunshine into your brain. But if you never get off your couch and do anything, nothing's going to happen. You can't just sit there and meditate all day and expect that, this Ferrari is going to pull up in your driveway or something and you're going to hit the lotto and you're going to have all this money and wealth. You actually have to get up off that couch, get off your butt, and go out and take some action. So action's a big thing. And the thing that gets in the way, there's a lot of obstacles with this. Biggest thing is procrastination. People think that they have all the time in the world. And just like that Medicare enrollment, we had all these people wait till the last minute. Like on October 15th, the first day, well, I got time. I'll call you back in a couple of weeks. You know what? People get lost in the shuffle. They forget about things. And then something happens and they're not in the plan that they should. So procrastination is kind of hardwired into a lot of us. So you really had to have the sense of urgency. So what was the difference last night when I was selling this compared to October 15th? Well, it was a deadline. So they had a sense of urgency. They knew it was now or never. There was no calling back or anything. I said, I can't guarantee anything. I said, right now we're slammed. You got all these people calling in. If you want to do it, you really need to do it now. If you change your mind and you try to call back, whatever, I don't know. We're probably not going to get to you. I said, you're probably going to get lost in the shuffle. I'm just being honest. So a lot of people took action. Last night, I had my top sales. And what was the difference? It was that sense of urgency in there. And that's really what you need, is a sense of urgency all the time. Don't let people put things off. I mean, we can't control what people do, but more of yourself. Don't put things off like, well, I'll get to it tomorrow, because tomorrow never comes. So you need to start today. Not like, well, tomorrow, because it's a weekend, I'll wait till Monday and I'll do it tomorrow. It's not going to happen. You need to start right now. So number two is take action. Number three is actually have a desire to help people. So we need to treat people like they're our own family and friends. You may not know this person. You may have met them over the internet. You just bumped into them, in person somewhere, met them through friends or whatever. But we need to look at that. Are we actually putting that person in a better position or not? And that's the way I do all my sales for insurance. If I can't put somebody in a better position, I'm not just about making a sale. I'm not going to put somebody in a worse position just so I can make a buck. What I want to do is actually, what if that was my mom or my dad out there? What would I do for them? If that was my family member, if it was your significant other, your child, whatever, how would you want somebody to treat that person? To treat your family member? You need to treat everybody like that. So my big thing is, I want to make sure, like, whatever that person needs, maybe they just want a product, they want to be a customer, they're looking for something for health, I'm going to give them the best product. Is that going to cure everything for everybody? No, we don't make medical claims or cures. And a lot of times, here's my thing on this too, like, people will have something very, very severe medically coming on, and they take our product for a week and then they're complaining, well, it's not doing anything. but yet they'll go on some drug, some opioid or whatever for pain, and or the doctor will tell them, well, let's take this for 6 or 8 weeks and then check back in. Oh, okay, doctor, that's great, and they still have that pain, and the doctor's, giving them more drugs and stuff on it. But yet with the CBD, people expect overnight results. You have to take this on a consistent daily basis. And a lot of times, I mean, if there's something that's still bothering you that this is not knocking out, you probably have a medical issue that you need to go to the doctor on. Like if you had some back pain or something, and you got your two discs are pinching on nerves, that CBD isn't going to get that nerve out between those two discs there. I mean, it can take down inflammation, things like that, but it's just like, ibuprofen. So you buy some ibuprofen, you have a headache, keep a bottle of it, you take a few of them, and okay, it knocks it out. Well, if I go to the drugstore, the pharmacy there, whatever, and go there and buy this, and I'm taking it, and it doesn't knock my headache out, but I got something more severe medically. Maybe I got the flu or something. I just had this massive headache. I'm not going to go back to the pharmacy and say, hey, this Motrin doesn't work. I want my money back. No, I have a more severe medical condition going on right now. So we really have to have this desire to help people out. And number 4 is goals. So why are you doing this? What do you want out of this? Maybe you have a health and wealth. Maybe you want to get better physically. And I've really improved my health a lot with this company. I've lost weight. I've gotten better shape. My mental condition's improved. I mean, I look back to a couple of years ago, and I'm a totally different person today. And I like where I'm at right now, and I'm still improving on this. So that's a big thing for me. And then on the wealth side, I mean, the CTFO has generated some good money for us. I don't know what I'd do without this money. I just can't imagine not having this check coming in. It's been a big blessing, to Karen and I to have this extra money coming in. And it's not always, consistent all the time. I mean, it fluctuates, but we've never missed a paycheck. I mean, our very first check in this company was like 80 some dollars. We had our highest one about $1,600, and it fluctuates, but that's okay. And then we're building it up. And nothing is, sometimes people have this thing like they want this daily paycheck. That's what your job is for. Work at your job, you get that steady paycheck, that's awesome. Now you can take this money and actually use that for other things to hit your goals. Which brings me to number 5, to invest. And by investing, what I talk about there is not just taking all this money that you earn from CTFO and blowing it, but actually reinvesting a portion of it back in the business. So like Karen and I have bought a Platinum Builders Pack. So what that does, our flagship product that sells for $120 at 10X Pure Gold Super 1000 with the CBDa enriched, that's $120 wholesale. Now, I will not sell to anybody below wholesale, but if we buy a builder's pack, we can actually get that as low as $75 a bottle. So we make $45 a bottle profit. Is there anything wrong with that? No. And that's the rule. I mean, I'm not going to sell it to somebody at the same price, not make any money. Why am I doing all the work, So you can sell at retail. The retail on that's $160. We chose not to sell retail. We want to give people the best price, do wholesale. But now we take a portion of that money too. I mean, if you just go out and blow it and, like maybe use it to buy a new car and, now you got more bills and you buy more stuff with it, you're in a worse position than you are. Take a portion of that money, set it aside, and reinvest it back in the business. So that money, you should treat it just like like you're working for another company. And that money needs to, not all of it go to you. Maybe you want to take a portion of it, but you should at least invest, maybe all of it starting out, maybe half of it starting out, and, have some to give you a little extra money there, but take that money and reinvest it. And then number 6 is never quit. And, our mind is always looking for excuses of why something won't work. So when we go out there and we see somebody, things aren't going good. Like, give you an example here. Everything hasn't been always sunshine and roses here at CTFO. We had a period where we were transitioning over to a new website, and there was a lot of issues. I mean, the website was down, nobody could get on it, the credit cards weren't processing, we got hit like all these things at once. And it really questioned, a lot of people like, hey, is CTFO going to survive? But we did survive. In fact, we're thriving even better, and now we're positioned. And we learned a lot from that. And it's actually a good thing that did happen, because what we learned from it, things were put into place to make sure that does not happen again. And we are just like so much further ahead than when we were before. But what happened on that point? Well, you saw some of these people would go out on Facebook and they had to do this big announcement like, I could no longer be with CTFO anymore because blah, blah, blah. And they're already joining another company. They jumped ship, or they were going to. Some of them just dropped out, but people want to validate, and that gives people validation. It's like, see, your mind's telling you, I told you this wouldn't work. What were you thinking? It's like, yeah, you made some money, but they all happen like that. They all crash and burn. Nobody makes money in these things. So then a lot of these people saw a couple people doing this, and then it's a trend. Like, people like to do what other people do. I call them sheeple, because sheep like to follow everybody. You watch the sheep, and they get that whole herd, and they turn this way. The rest of the sheep all do the same exact thing. They're followers. And we're wired that way a lot of times. We like to do what everybody else is doing. We don't want to be different. So don't look for those excuses there. Instead, you just need to stick with it and never quit. Don't use other people's failures as a validation. And you never really fail until you quit. And there's going to be struggles and things that happen. Nothing is ever perfect in life. A business relationship, personal relationships, there's always going to be challenges and things to overcome. But the thing is to hang in there and stick with it. Now, the good thing is, you don't even have to believe in yourself. Now, I talked about the mindset and the belief, but the bottom line is we all have these doubts in our head. And I can listen to all this positive stuff I want. I can listen to Tony Robbins, read Deepak, and all this other stuff. But in the back of your mind, and you're really going to be lying if you don't say that somewhere in the back of your mind, there's still something there saying, this isn't going to work. It's not going to work, So you have to realize that it's there, but the way to overcome that is, I don't have to believe in myself. I do believe in myself, but there's still always that doubt there somewhere. There's that little piece that says something's not going to work. And instead of buying into that, even on those days where I may feel that more than others, I still take consistent actions on a daily basis. My consistent action, one, was to work out every day, which I do, and that's given me a lot more confidence. I dropped a lot of weight. And then the other one is to do these videos for the business. So this is the minimum that I do. Every day I said I'd do a video, and I have since November 2nd, and I plan to, no matter what happens that day in my life. I mean, unless I'm unconscious or something, but maybe somebody could take a video of me then. But I do this on a consistent basis. And we've seen results from this. All of a sudden, boom, I start getting more YouTube channel subscribers. We start getting more people signing up. I get more people reaching out to us, more people going to the website. So doing this on a consistent basis, I know, like right now, what have I got? Maybe almost 50 videos or so in my YouTube that I just started, because I started off on November 2nd. I know within a year I will have at least 365 videos in there. 10 years, I'll have 3,650 videos in there. So I don't need to do them all in one night. I don't need to put out 3,000 videos in a night, but over time this builds up, and the keywords are in there and everything, and you just build up all this content. And what starts happening, like when I do keyword research already, just on what I've done, I start seeing my videos pop up among the top ones there. That's what gives us exposure. I don't pay anything for it. All I have is the time here. So real quick, what's the difference between the, and I'm going to post this in the comment part here too, so you can see this, but the 7 differences that make people successful or not. Number 1 is that belief or mindset. Number 2 is taking action. Number 3 is having a real desire to help people. Number 4 is setting goals. Number 5 is investing back into your business. Number 6 is just never quit. Don't let your mind buy into that stuff. Never quit. And finally, even if you don't believe in yourself all the time, the way around that and the way to really be successful, the total key is consistency. So that's all I got for you today. A little bit longer video, but I just felt like I really had to share this. It was something good. So hope you enjoyed it. Let me know. Drop some comments and share this out there. Thanks.